And so nobody really knew what to do with me. There was a complexion of, and maybe a collision of a lot of different, realities, everything from the way that I looked, young African-American boy with the Polish last name of Klakowicz, to this enormous case file that was following me around that detailed a very troubled family history that I had been born into, but I had not created. As I'm doing all the research and the homework and writing the story of how I came to meet my family much later on in life, it didn't really occur to me that I was telling a story really about healthcare disparity. I just didn't see it that way, at least at the time. But the more time that I spent talking with both the Murphy family, my mother's name was Marion Murphy, my father, Kenny Pemberton, the more time that I spent talking with both these families, I realized that what had unfolded for me, this very turbulent existence in the foster care system, absent any memory of family, taken in by terribly abusive foster homes, who really just see you as a way to make money. At first glance, we might ask, and rightfully so, well, what does any of that have to do with health disparities? To which I would say, having lived it and endured it, it actually has everything to do. This kind of concentration in this concentric circle around health disparities and a lot of matters of equity and even social justice that we are seeing today. Sometimes what's missing, though, is the personal effect and impact that it has, because we rightfully are leaning in on questions of training and resources and care and protocols and practice and all of those things, but the humanity in the story sometimes gets lost to us, and certainly the generational humanity can get lost to us around you. And while you don't have much, you still have each other until you don't. And when your mother's taken from you, that is pain, and that is pain enough. But then penalty is added to it when you're placed in a juvenile home, and you don't understand why and the circumstances that have brought you there. Well, what becomes of him is somebody for whom family matters, but he's also angry, and understandably so, at everything that he's lost. He turns that anger into the boxing ring and becomes one of the top amateur fighters in the world as a result. But the truth of it is that he never really ever overcame the loss of his mother, and then in later years, his father. And he too would pass along the cycle to me, not intending to, not wanting this cycle to be completed, but that's what happened. But the parallels of these lives had everything to do with these health disparities specifically. Imagine, if you could, for a moment, if my grandmother Murphy, had gotten the help and the treatment that she needed. Imagine what the family tree of the Pembertons would have been like had Mary Cabral gotten the proper diagnosis and treatment. The Pemberton family would not have lost the matriarch. The arc of everything would have been different. And those are some of the same realities that are unfolding all across the country today. And it is why we have to fundamentally revisit the way in which we are attacking these problems.